All right, today we are here at Putvin Trail. We are going to hike up to Lake of the Angels, testing our new rain gear. It's supposed to be raining off and on today, so that'll give us a good look at this new gear and see if it really is waterproof. Lake of the Angels is 3.7 miles one way and 4,888 feet of elevation. Let's see what we can get into. I am more well fed today than I was for Colonel Bob. For Colonel Bob, I ate an entire rotisserie chicken and a pound of artichoke salad the night before. So I was pretty loaded, but I only had one banana before I left the car and one banana near the top because I underestimated how long it was going to take. Made sure not to do that today. Also, since I'm well fueled, I'm going to try and push the pace some. Spots like this right here, where you can hear that cascading of the water flowing through the mountain, and you can hear the birds chirping. You can use that to tap into flow. Relax your vision. That doesn't mean become unfocused. You're just focusing differently. Relaxing your focus and letting that sound and letting those sounds become the dominant sense. And you can even add your footfalls to that sense. You can add the sound of your breathing. And if you get deep enough into it, beginning to feel the flow, you can hear your heartbeat and how it resonates with your breath and with your footfall. Yeah, the jacket and the merino wool base layer came off like immediately. I would say that finding flow at times can be likened to when your ears pop, when you're out in the forest. Everything becomes so much clearer, less fuzzy, less static, less in the way of what's going on around you. And I don't know how many of you practice lucid dreaming, but I do. And some of my clearest lucid transitions into dreaming, there has been an audible thud. That sounds very much like when my ears pop out here. I only bring up lucid dreaming and that correlation because either in dreaming or in flow, it's a state of optimum lucidity. Here we are 1.3 miles in. If there's any advice I can give on this trial so far, it's that if you are doing two things at once, you're doing it wrong. Stop, do what you got to do, and then move forward, because it is deceptively tricky footwork at times.
Now, one thing that I've been thinking about since Lake of the Angels is how different the experience was from the reviews I got and what people describe. Everybody talks about these big mountain days like there's some battle. And you hear about suffering, digging deep, surviving the climb. And that is not what Lake of the Angels felt like. The mountain was still steep. It was still rocky. It was still a mountain, but I moved through it. I didn't think about how much further I had to go, and I didn't really realize how many miles an hour I was moving. I wasn't checking my watch every few minutes. Wasn't thinking about PRs. And honestly, I don't think I was thinking much about finishing. I was just paying attention to where I was. Very present in the trail, noticing the trees, the birds, the water, the way the light was coming through the forest and bouncing off the wet rocks, looking for good footing and hand position, and then just continuing to move. Every once in a while, I'd look around and think, oh wow, I'm already at this point. And that happened more than once. The trail kept feeling shorter than it actually was. Time seemed different. Not like I was trying to pass the time away. Just wasn't carrying around a bunch of extra thoughts. And I think that's what is standing out to me right now. When I coach, I talk about unnecessary stress. And people hear that and they think I'm saying like things shouldn't be hard or tough. And that isn't what I'm saying. Like this mountain climb, any mountain climb is tough. Gravity is still gravity. Your legs still have to do the work. Your lungs still have to do the work. The work doesn't disappear. What disappears is all the extra stuff we take with us to places like this. The worrying, the constant evaluation, the pressure to perform, the idea that every workout has to prove something. I think people underestimate how expensive all that is. You can actually see it on the trail. Some people come to an obstacle and they stop. They'll stare at it. They'll hesitate, second guess, stumble. And they spend more energy deciding than they would have spent just moving. And I've done that before. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm saying I don't seem to do that very much anymore. I see a line, I take it. If it changes, I change with it. And then I keep moving. There's not so much drama. And I think that's become one of the biggest changes in my personal movement over the last few years. I'm not trying to overpower the terrain. I'm letting the terrain let me know where to go. If it's steep, I move differently. If it's loose, I move differently. If it's muddy, I move differently. I don't try to argue or bargain with reality. The reality is already set, so I might as well learn to work with it. Something else that I've noticed is that I don't really feel any need to conquer a mountain. That probably sounds strange because I spend so much time on them. But when I show up now, I'm not asking myself if I can do it. I'm asking myself what I'm going to notice today. What will I learn? How will I move? What's different from last time? That's a much more enjoyable way to spend a day, in my opinion. And strangely enough, it also seems to lead, for me, to better performances. I wasn't trying to have one of my better days on a mountain at Lake of the Angels. I just did. I think that's worth paying attention to. I've been living this way more and more lately. I'll head out with one plan, then something catches my attention and the whole day changes. Instead of fighting that, I just go with it. I explore, test my equipment in a new way. If I want to stop, I stop. If I want to look around, I look around. I enjoy where I am. Somehow that seems to leave me with more energy instead of less. People ask me about motivation all the time, and I honestly don't think about motivation very much. I'm interested, and that's enough. I'm interested in seeing what's around the next corner. I'm interested in seeing how my body adapts. I'm interested in seeing how different clothing works in different weather. I'm interested in seeing if I can move a little more smoothly than I did last month. That interest keeps me moving without having to force anything. Maybe that's why these last few mountains have felt the way they have. I don't know yet. I'm still paying attention. I'm still testing it. But it's happened enough times now that I think it's not just luck. Something is changing. The mountains aren't getting smaller. I'm just spending less energy on everything that isn't actually the mountain. I have a feeling there's a lesson in that. Whether you're climbing a trail, training in a gym, or just trying to get through everyday life, I'm going to keep paying attention to this and see where it leads.